Hello friends, in this lecture we will continue with hole command. So in the previous lecture we have created a hole inside this plate. So now we are going to explore some of the more options in the hole command. So we have created a blind hole. So now I go to this hole option, make a double click on this hole, and now I want to make some more changes into this hole command. So the first option that is highlighting in this hole window is depth of the hole. So we already know about these references up to next, up to last, just like we have done in the pad option. So I'm not going to change this, so I'm selecting this as a blind hole. After that we have diameter and depth, and then we can specify the limit with respect to any reference or any offset value. So now we can see there is an option of bottom. Now we can select the profile which we want in the bottom. So click on this arrow, we can see flat and then V bottom. So if I select this V bottom, we can insert the parameter for this V bottom. So we can insert the value of angle. Right now we can see the value is set, that is 120 degree. So we can change this value according to our requirement. So right now I am selecting this as a flat bottom. After that we can see there is an option of type. So click on this type option, and then in this we can change the type of hole. So I click on this arrow, we have simple hole, that is we call blind hole, then tapered, counter bore, countersink, and then counter drilled. So this time I will select this tapered hole. On the right side we can see the preview of a tapered hole. In the tapered hole we need to select the anchor point. So anchor point is the point that is highlighting with this red color. So we can select this enter point to the bottom or to the top. Okay, so now we can insert the angle value of the taper. So let's say I insert this value 10 degree and click on preview. So now this hole is tapered hole. Click OK. So I can zoom in onto this like this. And then if you want to make some more changes, I once again go to hole tool, make a double click, and then we can select, okay, then go to type, I can select counter bore. So click on this counter bore. On the right side we can see the preview of counter bore. Now we need to select the parameters. So in the parameter we have diameter and then depth. So diameter is 15, so let's take this value 2 and then click on preview. And now we can see we have a preview of a counter bore hole. So we need to select the depth of this bigger radius. So let's say this depth is 0.5. Click OK. And now we can see we have a preview of a counter bore hole. And then once again I go to hole option. So click on this hole and select this top face. And then I go to type. In the type we can select countersink hole. Similarly we can insert the parameters for countersink hole. So we can insert the parameters just like depth and angle, angle and diameter, and depth and diameter. So we can select any of these three options. Let's say this time I will select depth and angle. So angle is 10 degree and depth is 0.5. So I can click OK. So in this way we can insert the countersink hole. And the next type of hole is the counter drilled hole. So I make a double click on this hole. And then we can select this counter drilled hole. In the counter drilled hole we have diameter, depth value and angle. So you can change this value by yourself. After all these holes we have thread definition. So before this I will select the simple type of hole and then go to thread. In the thread option I make a check on this threaded, and then we have type of thread. So we can select dimension, support depth or up to plane. So I am selecting dimension. And then we have type of thread. So if I click on this arrow, we have metric, we have no standard, metric thin and metric thick. So if I select this no standard, we need to insert the parameters of the thread like thread diameter, hole diameter, thread depth and then pitch value. Also we have some standard value of the threads. So if I select this metric and click OK, we can see it is highlighting M8 into 1. So 8 is diameter and 1 value is the pitch value. So I click on arrow. So all these values are highlighting in the millimeters. So M10, we can select this M10 hole. Now we can see it is a very big hole. So we can select some lesser value, and then we have metric thick plate, and then we have metric thick pitch. So in this the value is highlighting M1.8 value. So I can select this M1. So M1 is representing the diameter of hole, and then we can insert the value of thread depth and hole depth. So I can click OK, and then in this way we can insert the threads into the hole.